So I am actually on the record saying that I cannot listen to audiobooks because I want to see commas. If I don't see commas, I am upset. And my sister, knowing this, just got me Merriam-Webster's Guide to Punctuation and Style. And I don't know if you've seen the first episode of INVU, but that episode was inspired by French grammar of all things. So when I got this book, I kind of thought to myself, maybe I could look through this and find some other inspiration. Of course, I love commas, so I was looking at the comma section, and there's I always want to say Meow song because it's written Meow, but I know it's Meow. I see Meow. The Meow song, Meow, where they go, comma, comma, comma. And so I thought, okay, let's have an album called Comma, Comma, Comma. And then I'll figure out the rest. I think that this would be a Yena album because after Nemonemo, I could just see her doing this. Like, she's the person who I could definitely see doing something like what I've put together. But like I said, the album is called Comma, 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 and I put together some titles for it. Technical Writer, Fault Conjunction, which is the title track, which we'll get to. That came from reading about comma faults and conjunctions, of course. Don't Call Me That, the However comma, and parallel lines. But I want to focus on the music video. That's kind of the crux of the video. So for fault conjunction, I had the idea that there are two writers. Obviously they're both Yena, but they're dressed differently and they're writing the same story at the same time, and you see them typing the same lines in barely different ways. And one of the Yenas has a dream about submitting the story at the same time, and you see her waking up with wide eyes, but she's in a department store for some reason, and she is like making a cork board in the store, figuring out how this happened, and eventually planning a sort of like heist, toppling over the first board to get to the planning. And there are like parallels of the writers as if they're dancing together, and one of them pulls, the one in the department store pulls the other in by a red string, like the one they use for the corkboard, and that's sort of how they capture this other writer. And there's an interrogation scene, and they're like throwing the other writer off with toys found in the department store. Eventually there is a part where people are printing out pictures that are literally just commas, and they stick them on their foreheads and walk around the store practically blindly, like almost zombie like. And you see the writer from the department store doing the captured writer's makeup, which obviously she knows how to do because they look the same. And they leave the store together, the writer from the department store watching over as the captured writer goes to dispose of their version of the story. The captured writer can't do it though. They throw their manuscript at the other writer, but it disappears, the other writer's body flashing as if it hits against a force field and just evaporates. And when they go back to the department store, the captured writer, left on their own now for a minute, destroys the other writer's computer, dunking it in a fish tank, and the fish are like peering at it curiously before leaving it alone, not interested in enough. And you see the lights go off, and the people with commas on their heads gather around the tank only to disappear one by one, evaporating kind of like the manuscript. And you see a red string fray and return to the writer, almost colliding with them like a weapon. And there are three commas in each of their pupils that just disappear. And I think that that would be a really fun music video. Specifically, I wanted the part with the dancing because there's a part in the book where they talk about how when you're using commas, sometimes you need to rely on rhythm, parallelism, and logic in order to decide how to go about using commas. And I also thought that having it be in a department store had like some interesting implications about like capitalism and writing. So that's kind of all I have. I think this is a fairly short video, but I haven't done an IMVU in a while, and I just had some inspiration, so there's that. Hopefully this was interesting. And yeah, let me know if you are still interested in IMVU. I don't know if everyone subscribed now is as familiar with the series, but it's a fun thing that I enjoy doing. So I'm willing to experiment with more. And obviously, it's usually something where I make up a group. This didn't feel like the kind of thing where it would be a group. It felt like more of a soloist thing. So there's less about, concept and all of that. But usually I was going to say hardcore. Usually I go into depth in into like an original concept. Couldn't really do that for this one, but it's whatever. I hope you're having a good day. I was gonna say wherever, whenever you are, but that is definitely something that oh my boba already says. I think. I hope that you're having a good day regardless, and thank you for watching. I would love any feedback. But do what you want to do. Bye.